Hello and welcome to another week. Now, I thought today was going to be really bad because I woke up really early in the morning at like 5:20 and I couldn't really get back to sleep, and then I started having one of my weird shaky episodes and I thought, oh god, today's going to be terrible, I'm not going to be able to do anything, and I've got a lot to do because I'm going to Breaksboro on Wednesday. But today has actually been really productive. That is very good and makes me less anxious about tomorrow now. So I'm feeling quietly confident about Wednesday, I would say. I mean, there's still a lot of anxiety surrounding the travel, but I do feel prepared for the appointment now. Had a pretty busy day, as I was expecting, but my body seems to have handled it pretty well, so I'm really happy about that. The main thing that happened today is that I got my new glasses. Finally, these are the new frames I've chosen. You can't really see them very well in this light, but I really like them. They're a bit bigger than my old ones, and they're also more round, and they're tortoiseshell instead of just plain black. I really like them. Honestly, it's amazing how much better I can see in these than my previous ones. You don't realise it until you put your new prescription on. You're like, oh wow, like I can see so much more detail. I feel like I should say, I know I very rarely wear glasses in any of the clips I'm filming, and that's just because 99% of the time when I film stuff, I'm sitting in my bed, and right opposite my bed is a big window, and so there's often a reflection in the glasses and it just looks bad, and it's also really distracting when I'm filming, so I tend to just take them off quickly. But that is pretty much the only time that I don't wear glasses. Other things I've done today include sorting out what I'm going to wear tomorrow, printing off some stuff I need to take with me, packing little bits and pieces to take, finished making my notes, wrapped up my mum's birthday present because it's her birthday on Thursday and I won't have the energy to do it on, well, tomorrow or Thursday morning. Hope I haven't overdone it. I don't feel like I have because I've been working in very short spurts. So fingers crossed that I get a good night's sleep and that I don't feel extra terrible when I wake up tomorrow. Maybe I'll even feel slightly good. That would be great. See what I mean about the reflection? It's really annoying, so I'm going to take them off. The day has started as well as it could have done because I slept pretty well last night. My pain levels are relatively low, which is all good things when it comes to going on a fairly long car journey. It's about 3 hours, so it's not ridiculously long, but for someone who does not travel and has chronic illness, chronic pain, 3 hours in a car is a long time. Okay, so we're leaving in about 45 minutes. I'm not feeling so good now. Had to eat my breakfast a bit quicker than usual and take my tablets quicker, which meant that I was burping quite a lot, and I feel like I'm almost on the verge of one of my weird shaky episodes. I actually just wanted to explain quickly why this is my first appointment with my Lyme doctor in a year. I know that may sound kind of strange because I'm still treating my Lyme disease, but I've not actually seen him for a very long time. Basically, at the end of 2016, God, a year and a half ago now, I tried to do a course of IV antibiotics at Breaksboro, but my body just couldn't cope with them. Basically, my liver specifically, it couldn't cope with that amount of medication and that amount of die-off from the Lyme, and just freaked out and made me feel very ill. Through a number of other tests after that, we found out that I have a genetic mutation, which is quite common with chronic Lyme disease patients, I'm told, on the MTHFR gene, I think that's what it's called, which means that it's very difficult for me to undergo IV antibiotics. So although I was there for a month at Breaksboro at the end of 2016, I only actually had 2 weeks of IV antibiotics. It was 14 days, and those were interrupted 14 days, so we would do like 2 days, and then my liver enzymes would shoot up again, and we'd have to stop, and so on and so on. So it was very frustrating. So at the beginning of 2017, my doctors decided that I should try coming off a medication called mirtazapine that I was on. They thought that might help my liver process toxins a bit better because mirtazapine can compromise your liver's function anyway. So I stopped taking that, but then that caused its own problems. I went through withdrawal, I had insomnia and really bad nausea, and that's really when my GI symptoms that I've talked about a lot in previous videos and this one started really in earnest. So I was feeling really sick, I couldn't really eat, I couldn't sleep, it was hell on earth, it really was. I then went back to Breaksboro and was like, I don't know what to do because this is kind of intolerable. They tweaked my protocol a little bit, which helped me sleep a little bit better, but the nausea and the other GI symptoms really continued. I went to my GP, which was on the National Health Service. All my Lyme treatment is done privately. Went to my GP and told her all the problems I was having. She referred me to a bunch of specialists. I'm not just talking about the problems with my stomach, I'm talking about other problems as well. The entirety of 2017 pretty much was spent waiting for an endocrinology appointment, waiting for a gynecology appointment, and waiting for a cardiology appointment. So finally now, I've had all those appointments. I'm on some medication that's helping with those problems, and I'm finally ready to talk about my Lyme protocol again. And that is what today is about. We're about 2/3 of the way there now. I've got to talk a little bit discreetly because we parked in a disabled space right opposite the cafe outside the service station. My stomach isn't great. I'm going to attempt to eat some food now, which I'm not really feeling, I'm going to be honest. So we'll see how that goes. And then we've got about an hour left. And then pretty much as soon as we get there, I'll probably have the appointment. And then rest for a little bit there afterwards and then come back home. I'll update you as soon as I can. I'm just in my room about to go home. I've had my appointment, which was really good, but I'll talk about that later. Then I had a couple of blood tests, then I had some injections, and then I had to get some kits to take away with me and order more medication from the pharmacy. So I've done all that. Just waiting for my dad to take some stuff for the car, and then gonna go home. I think I've held up really well, energy-wise, anxiety-wise. I don't feel too terrible. I just feel like about as expected, really. So that's all really good. Don't have a migraine yet, which is even better. Just gonna try and relax for the journey home, try and eat something because I haven't really eaten much today. Very excited to get home because I've almost done it and that feels really good. Back home now, in my pyjamas, in bed, about to go to sleep. I'll talk more about the actual appointment tomorrow or the day after once I've recovered from it, once I've processed everything that we talked about. But I just want to say one thing. I've held up much better than I thought I would. As I said, my stomach was bad on the way there, but on the way back it was fine. The only other thing really is like muscle pain in my legs and lower back from sitting in one position for so long. That's been quite bad, but that's totally bearable. I did not get a migraine, a flare-up of my TMJ pain, which was something that I was really worried about. And now I'm home. I'm tired, yeah, but I do not feel completely wiped out. I do not feel too tired to move or think or talk. So that is really good, and that makes me a little bit hopeful that maybe the post-exertional malaise won't be quite as bad as I was expecting, but I'll just have to wait and see for that. Hopefully I'll sleep well. Okay, so it's Saturday now, and the last 2 days have really been spent recovering from everything that happened on Wednesday because there was a lot. I wanted to talk about the appointment itself. I'm getting reflections in my glasses again, so I'm going to take them off. Even though that means I can't really see, it's fine. So, the appointment. I got into the private room that I had asked for and I was lying down and the doctor came in, and the first thing that happened was kind of funny because he didn't recognise me because I've lost so much weight since the last time he saw me. It's been pretty dramatic how much I've lost, and he didn't think it was me. And his reaction was like, oh my god, really negative, because dramatic weight loss in people who are ill is rarely a good thing. But we explained to him actually the weight that I put on was because of a medication, and this is actually the size that I was pre-illness. We went into his office and talked about how the last year's been, my worst symptoms, decided what we wanted to do about them. I had 7 vials of blood taken, I think. I had some general kind of haematology and biochemistry done. I'm also going to have something called the Monroe Fatigue Panel done again, which is a blood test that looks at your mitochondria and how well they're functioning to see if there's anything else we can be doing to help with my fatigue levels. Then I'm also going to do a stool analysis test again, which is one of the least favourite ones I've ever done, and it's pretty disgusting, so I won't go into any more detail. And then I'm also, at a later date, going to be tested for SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. One of the main symptoms of that is bloating and burping and nausea. The test for it is pretty, well, it's not very nice, but I'm going to talk about that more at a later date, nearer the time that I'm going to have it done, because you have to like prep for 24 hours before, so it's not something you can just do on the day. I also had a couple of injections done whilst I was there. I had a really high dose of vitamin D in this arm and a really high dose of vitamin B12 in this arm. And I'm taking B12 orally, but I've actually decided to try injections to see if it makes a bigger difference, because I haven't noticed a huge amount of difference at all to my fatigue levels when I'm taking it. Injecting it is more potent because you bypass the gut, so it just goes straight into your system. I'm actually going to be self-injecting that vitamin B12, which is slightly not unnerving to me, but it's a completely new experience because I've never done anything like it before. So that's going to be interesting. A couple of new tablets to try. I'm going to take high dose vitamin C 3 times a day to see if that helps my fatigue levels at all. You never know, it might do. I'm also going to be adding another element to my Lyme herbal protocol. It's something called andrographis, which I've never heard of before, and I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Also going to be restarting Scutellariari. I can never remember how to say that. We also talked quite a lot about how to get glutathione into my system. Again, going to be trying that in the next few weeks or month because there's quite a lot going on at the moment, isn't there? The main question I had about the glutathione was that, is there a pain barrier I need to go through? The side effects are really severe with me, so I wanted to know, will they eventually end? Will my body eventually adjust to it? And he said yes. So that means that I've just got to do it. You know, I've just got to put up with the migraines and the nausea and the vomiting until my body gets a handle on things. And I don't know how long it's going to take, but at least I know that it will happen eventually. So there's a lot going on, but I feel good about it. The appointment itself was positive and my doctor is so nice, which is really, really good. So I do feel like it was a really good appointment, and I do feel like, yeah, it was productive. End of another week, and I've been feeling really reflective today. Not just because this week was, I think I said this either at the beginning of the video or at the end of the last one, that this week was a really big important week for me. Obviously, I saw my Lyme doctor for the first time in a year, and I'm so pleased with how the appointment went, not just because of the content of the appointment, so to speak, but because of how well I handled it. I don't know if I said this or not, I may have done, but I didn't have a panic attack for the entire day, not on the journey there, not whilst we were there, and not on the journey back. And that is a huge deal for me, a really, really big deal. And you know, the recovery from the appointment hasn't been too bad either. I'm also feeling reflective because today marks the last day of my second year of Lyme treatment, which is hard to believe and sad to believe because really I'm not much better than when I started. So for that reason, I've been feeling quite melancholic today. Throughout my first year of Lyme treatment, I recorded 1 second of my day every single day, and then at the end of the year I put them together in a video. I've also done one for my second year of Lyme treatment. By the time you watch this, that will have been uploaded. It's such a good representation of a year. You know, it's kind of a mixture of tablets that I've started, TV shows I'm watching, books I'm reading, how I'm feeling on a day-to-day basis, when I leave the house, you know, appointments, that sort of thing. And I'm really proud of it, so I'd really like you to go and watch it if you could. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video and any of the other videos you've watched in my second year of treatment, or even my first year if you've been watching a really long time. I'll see you again next week for the start of year 3. Bye.